The Boundary Seeker. The long-range sensors of the survey ship Pathfinder hummed with steady precision as Commander Maya Chen studied the holographic star map floating before her. Something wasn't right. She'd made this run dozens of times, charting the outer reaches of human space, and there was always something new to discover. A rogue asteroid, an uncharted nebula, or a star that didn't quite match its catalog entry. But this was different. Elias, run another scan on grid sector 227A, she said, her fingers hovering over the anomalous reading that had caught her attention. The ship's AI responded in its calm, measured voice. Scan complete, Commander. Results are consistent with previous readings. Maya frowned. The scan showed a perfectly straight line that extended for thousands of light years across the edge of charted space. Not a natural formation. Nature didn't work in perfect straight lines. Yet it didn't appear on any official charts. Compare this reading with all galactic survey maps in the database. Comparing. No match found in official records. That was impossible. Galactic Survey had mapped this entire region decades ago. Every star, every dust cloud, every gravitational anomaly had been cataloged and verified by hundreds of survey ships just like hers. Show me unofficial maps, personal logs, rejected survey data, anything. A series of maps flickered into existence around her, overlapping with her current readings. Most showed nothing unusual, but 3 of them, all from different sources, all from missions that had been mysteriously aborted, showed the same straight line, faintly visible, like a boundary drawn across the stars. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. She'd heard whispers about this during her training, rumors that experienced pilots shared after too many drinks, stories about ships that ventured too far and never returned, about maps that didn't match reality, about a wall in space that no one was supposed to cross. Elias. Access personal log of Admiral Carolina Reyes, dated 2589. That file is restricted, Commander. Maya entered her override code. Admiral Reyes had been her mentor at the Academy, the one who'd recommended her for the Pathfinder mission. 6 months ago, Reyes had taken her own survey ship out toward this same region and never returned. Elias hesitated, then displayed the log. Admiral Reyes' face appeared, tired and strained, her usually immaculate uniform wrinkled, as if she'd been wearing it for days. "This is my final log entry," Reyes said, her voice low and urgent. "The boundary is real. It's not natural, and it's not ours. Someone or something has drawn a line around human space, and I intend to find out who. If anyone finds this log, don't look for me, but look for the truth. Something is out there, watching us, containing us, and no one at command wants to acknowledge it." The log ended abruptly. According to the official report, Admiral Reyes' ship had suffered a catastrophic drive failure. No wreckage was ever found. Maya closed the log and stared at the anomalous line on her scan. Could this be what Reyes had found? The boundary she mentioned. "Commander." Elias interrupted her thoughts. Incoming transmission from Galactic Survey Command. Admiral Vega's stern face appeared on the screen. "Commander Chen, your ship has deviated from its assigned survey route. Return to your designated coordinates immediately." Maya straightened. "Sir, we've detected an anomaly that requires investigation. Some kind of boundary fat." "There is no anomaly, Commander." Vega's voice was sharp, final. "That region has been thoroughly surveyed and cleared. Return to your route now." "That's an order." The transmission cut off before Maya could respond. She sat back in her chair, troubled by the Admiral's reaction. No questions about what she'd found. No curiosity, just an immediate shutdown and denial. "Elias, when did Command realize we had changed course?" "They contacted us 2 minutes and 17 seconds after we altered heading toward the anomaly." "That was far too quick. They were monitoring her specifically, waiting for her to notice what Reyes had found." Maya made her decision. "Elias, disable all outgoing transmissions except emergency channels. Explain it as radiation interference from the nearby pulsar. That would be a violation of survey protocols, Commander. I'm aware. Do it anyway. Maya studied the boundary line again. Whatever this was, whether it was what had happened to Admiral Rice or something else entirely, she needed to see it for herself. Plot a course for the nearest point of the boundary. Minimal energy signature. Stealth approach. Course plotted. Estimated arrival in 6 hours. The Pathfinder turned silently, slipping away from its assigned route and heading toward the edge of human space, toward a line that shouldn't exist. 6 hours later, Maya stood at the observation deck, staring out at what appeared to be completely normal space. Stars shimmered against the black void. A distant nebula cast colorful light across the hull of her ship. But the sensors told a different story. "We've reached the boundary coordinates," Elias announced. Maya studied the readings. According to the sensors, there was a subtle distortion in spacetime directly ahead, barely perceptible but extending in both directions as far as the sensors could reach. A perfect straight line. Any signs of artificial structure, energy readings, negative on both counts. However, there is an unusual quantum signature that doesn't match any known natural phenomenon. Maya positioned herself at the manual control station. "I'm taking us closer. Commander, I should note that all survey vessels that have approached within 1 light minute of similar coordinates have experienced unexplained system failures or have never returned." Noted. Maya's hands moved over the controls with practiced precision. "Keep all systems at minimal power. If anything unusual happens, be prepared for immediate withdrawal." The Pathfinder inched forward, sensors extended to their maximum sensitivity. As they approached the boundary, Maya noticed something strange. The stars beyond the line seemed different somehow. Dimmer, perhaps, or arranged in patterns that weren't quite right. "Elias, are you seeing this? The stellar configurations beyond the boundary don't match our star charts." "Confirmed. Stellar positions beyond the boundary show a 0.02% deviation from expected patterns. That was statistically impossible. Stars didn't just shift position overnight. Either every star chart in human history was wrong, or it's not a boundary," Maya whispered. "It's a filter. Something that alters what we can perceive." Before Elias could respond, every system on the ship flickered simultaneously. The lights dimmed, the engines stuttered, and for 3 heartbeats, Maya felt as though something vast and ancient had turned its attention toward her. Then everything returned to normal, except for one thing. Now they could see it. Floating in space before them was a massive structure, a ring wider than Earth's moon, adorned with symbols and patterns that seemed to shift and change as Maya tried to focus on them. It was simultaneously ancient and impossibly advanced, weathered by millennia, yet humming with power. "Elias, what am I looking at?" No response. "Elias." The AI's voice returned, but it sounded different, older, deeper, as if speaking from a great distance. "They have many names across many worlds. Watchers, gatekeepers, the old ones. They were ancient when your species first looked up at the stars." Maya's blood ran cold. This wasn't Elias speaking. "Who are you? What is this structure?" "A threshold, a test, a boundary between nursery and wilderness." The voice that wasn't Elias paused. "Your kind was not meant to cross it yet." On the main screen, symbols began to appear, not in any human language, yet somehow Maya could understand them. They showed star systems, planets, civilizations rising and falling, all contained within perfect circles. Other species, other intelligences. Many have come before you. Some are gone. Some still grow. Some reached too far, too soon. The screen shifted to show Earth, human colonies, the expansion of their civilization across hundreds of star systems, all enclosed within a boundary that matched exactly the line Maya had discovered. "You've been containing us," she realized, "keeping us inside a designated area." "Protecting you," the voice corrected. The universe beyond your perception is vast and indifferent. Some things that dwell in the deep would find your worlds appetizing. Images flashed across the screen, too alien and terrible for Maya to fully comprehend. Vast shadows moving between stars, intelligences that existed across multiple dimensions, predators that fed on entire civilizations. But Admiral Rice approached the threshold, asked questions, demanded answers. What happened to her? The screen showed a small ship, similar to the Pathfinder, approaching the ring structure, then passing through it. She chose to see beyond the boundary. Is she alive? She is. Elsewhere. Changed. As all must be who pass the threshold. Maya's hands gripped the control panel. Why show yourselves to me now? Because you, like her, would not turn away. Because your species approaches a critical juncture. Because soon you must choose. Choose what? Whether to remain in the nursery, protected but limited, or to step beyond, into glory or oblivion, we cannot say. The massive ring structure began to pulse with energy, a gateway opening at its center, revealing stars and space beyond that, somehow looked more real, more vivid than anything Maya had ever seen. This is your boundary, Maya Chen. Will you cross it? Maya stared at the opening, at the universe beyond the line that had contained humanity for its entire existence. Admiral Rice had crossed. Had she found answers out there? Or something worse? The voice spoke one last time. Choose carefully. For once you see, you cannot unsee. And what sees you cannot forget. Maya looked back toward human space, toward home, then forward again to the threshold, and what lay beyond. Her hand hovered over the controls, and she made her choice. The watchers beyond. Maya's hand moved forward, engaging the engines. The Pathfinder surged toward the pulsing gateway at the center of the ancient ring. As the ship crossed the threshold, reality itself seemed to shimmer and flex around them. For a heartbeat that felt like eternity, Maya experienced the sensation of being simultaneously everywhere and nowhere, observed from all angles by intelligences vast and cold and curious. Then they were through. The universe that greeted her on the other side was both familiar and profoundly alien. Stars burned with greater intensity, their light containing colors Maya had never seen before. Space itself seemed more densely packed with matter, with wispy tendrils of cosmic dust forming intricate patterns that her mind struggled to process. Elias, she called out, hoping her ship's eye had survived the transition. After a long silence, the familiar voice returned, though it sounded somehow deeper, more complex. I am here, Commander. Though here appears to be significantly more complex than our previous understanding of spacetime would suggest. Maya checked the ship's systems. Everything was functioning, but the readings made no sense. Energy signatures that shouldn't exist, radiation patterns that defied known physics, and gravitational anomalies that seemed to flicker in and out of existence around them. Can you determine our position relative to known space? Negative. Our navigational systems cannot reconcile current stellar positions with any known configuration. However, I am detecting a structure approximately 500,000 kilometers ahead. Maya peered through the view screen. At first, she saw nothing but unfamiliar stars. Then she noticed it, a massive structure that seemed to be built into the fabric of space itself, less a station than a nexus where multiple dimensions appeared to overlap. Parts of it extended in directions her mind couldn't quite follow, as if portions existed partly outside normal space. As the Pathfinder approached, Maya realized with a shock that the structure wasn't simply floating in space. It was anchored to the boundary itself, like a watchtower built into a wall. And it wasn't alone. Extending in both directions along the boundary, she could now see similar structures, spaced at vast intervals, monitoring the division between human space and whatever this was. I'm detecting an energy signature similar to galactic survey emergence beacons, Elias reported. It appears to be some kind of navigational marker. Maya's pulse quickened. Admiral Reyes. The signature matches her personal emergency beacon, yes. She steered the ship toward the beacon, approaching the vast alien structure with caution. As they drew closer, she could see that parts of it were clearly designed for observation. Enormous lens-like structures oriented toward human space, complex arrays that resembled sensors, but on a scale that suggested they could monitor entire star systems at once. "We're being scanned," Elias announced. "Multiple frequencies, some using principles I cannot identify." A voice suddenly filled the bridge, not coming through the communication systems, but somehow present directly in Maya's mind. Another seeker, so soon after the last. Maya steadied herself against the console. "I'm Commander Maya Chen of the Earth Alliance survey ship Pathfinder. I'm looking for Admiral Carolina Reyes." Names. So brief. So limited. "The one you seek is here. Changed. But here. I want to see her." "As you wish." A section of the structure before them shifted, opening to reveal what looked like a docking bay sized for vessels much larger than the Pathfinder. With no other obvious options, Maya guided the ship inside. The docking bay sealed behind them, and Maya felt gravity return. Earth standard, surprisingly enough. The air readings outside the ship showed a breathable atmosphere. Someone or something had prepared for human visitors. "Stay alert, Elias. Monitor all communications and be ready for emergency departure." "Understood, Commander. Though I should note that our engines are currently non-functional. It appears that certain physical constants operate differently within this structure." Maya checked her sidearm and sealed her environment suit. With a deep breath, she opened the airlock and stepped onto the alien deck. The interior of the structure defied easy description. Surfaces shifted between solid and translucent. Corridors seemed to extend in impossible directions, and the lighting came from everywhere and nowhere. Yet despite its alien nature, Maya found she could navigate it instinctively, as if the structure itself was guiding her. After walking for what felt like both minutes and hours, she entered a vast chamber. Its walls displayed shifting images of stars, planets, and galaxies. A cosmic observatory unlike anything humans had built. And in the center, studying a three-dimensional map of what appeared to be human space, stood Admiral Carolina Reyes, or something that had once been Admiral Reyes. She turned as Maya entered, and Maya had to suppress a gasp. Reyes looked both older and younger than when Maya had last seen her. Her skin had an unusual luminosity, and her eyes contained stars, literal points of light that shifted and moved as if entire galaxies existed within her gaze. "Maya," Reyes said, her voice echoing strangely. "I knew someone would follow. I hoped it would be you." "Admiral, what happened to you?" Reyes smiled, the expression both familiar and somehow too perfect, too precise. I understood. I was given a choice." She gestured to the cosmic display around them. "They showed me everything, Maya. The true nature of reality, the history of intelligence across billions of years, the pattern of life and civilization rising and falling across countless galaxies." "Who are they?" Maya asked, unable to look away from the stars in Reyes' eyes. "The architects, the ones who built the boundary. They're not from this universe originally. They came from one that was dying billions of years ago, and they've been here ever since, watching, guiding, protecting." "Protecting us from what?" Reyes waved a hand, and the display changed to show something that made Maya's blood run cold. Vast shadow-like entities moving between stars, consuming light, matter, even time itself. "The dark between," Reyes explained. "Predators from the spaces between universes. They feed on emerging intelligence, on civilizations that reach beyond their cradles too soon. The architects built boundaries around promising species, hiding them, letting them develop until they're ready to face what waits out here." Maya struggled to process what she was seeing. "So they've been containing humanity. For how long?" "Since the beginning. Since we first looked up at the stars with awareness." Reyes walked around the display, studying the Earth with an expression that was both fond and distant, like an adult remembering a childhood toy. They've done the same for thousands of other species across the galaxy, each in their own protected pocket of space-time. And the other species, what happened to them? Rhea's expression darkened. Some thrived. Some destroyed themselves. Some were deemed ready and released into the wider universe. Others. She gestured to another display, showing civilizations Maya didn't recognize vanishing in bursts of terrible light. Others attracted attention despite the boundaries. The dark between found ways through. The architects couldn't save them all. Maya felt a chill. And humanity? Are we in danger? Always. Rhys smiled sadly. But that's not why I came out here. And it's not why you followed. She was right. Maya had come looking for answers. For the truth about the boundary. But now that she was here, facing the enormity of what Rhys was showing her, she wasn't sure she wanted to know more. Why did you stay? She asked instead. Why not come back and warn everyone? Would they have believed me? Rhys' star-filled eyes fixed on Maya. Would command have accepted that everything we know about our place in the universe is a carefully maintained illusion? That we've been living in a cosmic playpen while things beyond our comprehension decided whether we deserve to join the real universe? Maya had no answer for that. Besides, Rhys continued, I was offered knowledge, understanding, a place here as a watcher for humanity's boundary. She gestured to her transformed self. This was my choice. Before Maya could respond, the chamber shifted around them. The cosmic displays vanish, replaced by a single image, the boundary line extending across space, with thousands of glowing points marking what Maya now recognized as other observation structures. A new presence entered the chamber. Not a physical entity, but a consciousness that filled the room like a pressure change. Maya felt it studying her, assessing her in ways that transcended mere observation. The boundary thins, a voice said, not in her ears but directly in her mind. Your kind approaches a critical threshold. Tools that pierce veils. Minds that question limits. Energy that warps reality. Maya realized with a shock that this was one of the architects, the ancient beings who had drawn the line around human space. Are you saying humanity is outgrowing the boundary? She asked. All boundaries are temporary. All protections provisional. The question is not whether your species will emerge, but whether you will survive what waits. The display changed again, showing Earth and human colonies thriving, technology advancing, then suddenly darkening as shadow entities descended on populated worlds. The dark between senses potential, tastes curiosity, hungers for minds like yours. Then why show us the boundary at all? Why let anyone cross? Because choice must exist. Because protection without agency is merely another form of predation. Maya looked at Rhys, who nodded slowly. That's why I was allowed to send the signal that brought you here, Maya. Every species reaches this point. The discovery of the boundary. The realization that they are not alone, not free. What happens next determines everything. What do you mean? Rhys gestured, and the display shifted again, showing various outcomes. Civilizations retreating from the boundary in fear, others trying to destroy it, some working with the architects to strengthen it, and a few transcending it entirely to join a wider cosmic community. The architects offer 3 paths, Rhys explained. Return to the protected zone, remaining safe but limited. Stay here as I have, becoming a watcher, helping to guard humanity until it's truly ready, or return home with knowledge of what lies beyond, helping prepare your people for eventual emergence, though that knowledge itself may attract the dark between. Maya stared at the options before her. Return to ignorance. Become something more than human like Rhys, or go back carrying a burden of knowledge that might doom her entire species. The presence of the architect intensified around her. Choose, Maya Chen, but know that your choice affects more than yourself. Maya looked at Rhys one last time. Despite her transformation, Maya could still see the determined explorer who had mentored her, who had always pushed humanity to look beyond the next horizon. I'm going back, Maya said finally, with the truth. Humanity deserves to know what's out there, what's been happening. We deserve the chance to prepare, even knowing the risk, especially knowing the risk. Maya squared her shoulders. We've faced extinction before. We've overcome our own darkness countless times. If there are things hunting emerging civilizations, then humanity needs to know so we can defend ourselves and maybe help protect others when we're ready. The architect was silent for a long moment. Then, it has been thus with every species that endured. Fear yields to curiosity, curiosity to knowledge, knowledge to wisdom. Perhaps your kind will be among those who transcend rather than perish. Rise approached Maya, placing a hand on her shoulder. Where their bodies connected, Maya felt a surge of information. Star charts, coordinates, technologies beyond human understanding, and warnings about what lurked beyond the boundaries of protected space. Tell them everything, Rise said. Show them what waits beyond the line. But also tell them this: we are not alone in facing it. The architects have shepherded countless species, and some have grown to join them. Humanity could be among them someday. Maya nodded, her mind reeling from the transfer of knowledge. Will I see you again? Rise smiled, the stars in her eyes twinkling. I'll be watching. We all will be. The chamber began to shift around them, and Maya felt herself being guided back toward her ship. The architect's presence receded, but its final message lingered in her mind. The boundary remains, but now has a door. Use it wisely, Maya Chen. Hours later, the Pathfinder emerged from the threshold, crossing back into human space. The massive ring structure shimmered once and vanished from normal perception, though Maya knew it was still there, watching, waiting. She set course for Earth, composing in her mind how she would explain what she had learned. About the boundary, about the architects who had drawn it, about the dark between that hunted emerging civilizations, and about the choice humanity now faced. The stars of home seemed different to her now, not just points of light, but waypoints in a journey humanity had only just begun to understand. The boundary had been drawn to protect them, but also to prepare them. And now Maya carried the key that would unlock it, for better or worse.